In my 36 years of fishing professionally and on television, I've caught a few red snapper, but always by accident, never fishing for them. That all changes this week. We're going out in the Gulf of Mexico to a very unique place, a very unique boat with some great guys. We're going to try to catch some red snapper on purpose. Glad you're with us. Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air from Florida right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the Gulf Coast of the Panhandle of Florida. Glad to have you with us this week. We are coming to you from Pensacola, Florida, home of some fantastic Gulf fishing. We're going to go red snapper fishing on this week's show. In fact, we're already at the marina. We've already got the boat launched. In fact, come here, I want to show you something. This is our brand new Blazer Bay 2420 GTS. This is the top of the line bay boat. It's rigged out with all the nice toys. It is a great riding boat, and it's great enough that we're going to take it out in the Gulf of Mexico. We're going about 15 or 20 miles offshore in this boat today with the guy that designed and built the boat, owns the company. Keith Kraft of Blazer Bay is going to join us in the boat along with Ronnie Respondak, who guides here for these red snapper. He knows everything there is to know about these spots. He's going to put us on a couple of his great red snapper spots. I've never done this before, so I'm really excited about it. Going to get the Blazer Bay out in the Gulf. While we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for your latest fishing reports from our insider reporters from lakes, rivers, and bays right where you live. Right now, we're going to get the boat out in the Gulf. Next time you see us, we'll be out in open water looking for red snapper. Right now, we get things started back at the studio in your weekend planner.
These Lunar tables are predicting fair game fish activity throughout both days this weekend. The best time to be on the water in the morning begins at 8:51 on Saturday and 9:46 on Sunday. Top evening action kicks off at 9:21 on Saturday and 10:13 on Sunday. Expect the sun to rise at 6:48 and set at 8:26. The night sky will offer a moon that is 78% visible. Stay with us, we've got fishing reports from across the area on the way. Plus, the most well-known name in bass fishing, Kevin Van Dam, stops by to answer your Ask the Pro question. Back in a bit.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lou's. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland, the best in bass and crappie lures, heads to tails. Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades. Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. Request our free 2019 fishing guide at orangebeach.com.
Whoa, that's a hard pull. Double snapper right there.
People come from all over to catch these.
There's a bite, there's a bite, there's a bite. Got him. All right, I got a fish on. Whoa, that's a hard pull. That's a harder pull. Welcome back, everybody. We're rocking and rolling out here on the Gulf of Mexico out of Pensacola, Florida. I'm with Keith Kraft today, who's designed, built, owns, and makes these wonderful Blazer Bay boats like the 2420 that we're fishing out of today. Keith's got one too. Yeah, look at here. Look at this dude. There is a nice snapper for you. Yeah, that's what I came out here to do. We've tried several different spots and we've caught small ones. You got one too, Keith?
I got one.
Snapper?
I'm sure it is. It's not.
There we go.
Not as big as yours.
There's two of them. All right, that's what we came to do. Two nice snappers. Way to go, buddy. Fight me with your other hand.
This is what Pensacola's famous for.
Yeah, double snapper right there.
People come from all over to catch these.
Yeah, they do, and we'll talk some about the limits and maybe a little about the controversy and maybe how they finally got it settled on the snapper population and the what you can keep. But we can keep 2 per person per day. So Keith, you and I can keep 4 between us, and we'll keep the 4 biggest ones. And Ronnie, roughly how big will that fish be right there?
I'd say that one goes 7 pounds.
About a 7-pounder right there, so that's just a good solid snapper. We're gonna let Ronnie deal with that one and deal with this one too while we're at it. And Keith, let's talk just a second about your boat. Since you designed and built these 2420s, what's your favorite features about this boat? What do you like the most about them?
It's just a versatile boat. I usually rig one of these for myself, and like I say, we go out in the Gulf sometimes. We go scalloping. You can get in and out of the boat easy. Down where y'all are, y'all can wade fish out of it real easy, you know, walk. And if we just go to the sandbar to play around, it's easy to get in and out of. It's just a versatile boat. Holds a lot of gas, so you can go anywhere you want.
And what does it hold, 80 gallons?
80 gallons, so you should have a 300-mile range or so.
So really the best thing about it is you can just do so many different kinds of fishing out of it. We catch big redfish, speckled trout, flounder. We've gone out and caught kingfish out of it, triple tail. If somebody's looking to get in one, this would be a good one for just an all-around boat.
Yeah, it's a good all-around. We build this model in a 22-foot and a 24.
Well, you're going to be seeing lots more of Blazer Bay where you are, because they are the hot boat right now, and we're so proud to be in one. All right, let's get rigged back up. We got snapper working now finally, you know it. We've had to work hard, but we found a good spot right here.
Hey folks, Captain Greg Varm here for this week's Fox Southwest Outdoors Report. Hey, let's start this week's Lower Texas report down in Lower Laguna Madre. Hey, Captain Wayne Davis, he's been on the water every single day, and he said the main key factor is potholes. Get you a good pair of polarized glasses and make multiple casts to every pothole. Captain Wayne says there are times when half a dozen fish will be hanging around these areas. Hey, speckled trout and redfish are staging along the potholes. Hey, also over along the East Cut, some very nice flounder are being caught on a regular basis. Best baits for Captain Wayne Davis has been soft plastic, K-Wiggler, Willowtails. Now for the live bait fishermen, hey, I just got a report from Randall Taylor. Him and his buddies smoked the big trout along the King Ranch shoreline on live croaker, Fish Carolina rigged. Hey, now let's move to Baffin Bay with Captain Chris Elliott. The #1 key factor for Captain Chris, get on the bay early. Hey, awesome topwater bite in knee-deep water. He's having his best success on very small topwaters. Also, Captain Chris says, if early morning isn't your thing, hey, get out there late in the evening and use the same techniques until dusk. Hey, remember, if you want to fish Galveston or Freeport, give me a call. I'd love to bring you fishing. I'm Captain Greg Varm. I'll see you next time.
There we go. Oh, look at him pull. Golly. Man, you can sure tell a snapper when they bite. They bury their head straight down, and they try to go right back down in that reef. Way down there. There we go. Another nice snapper. There we go. All right, look how fat they are. These things are down there right on these rock reefs. And so that's one in the boat. Let's see what we got back here with Keith now.
Feels like a snapper.
Be a snapperooski, Keith. Yeah, it's a snapper. Got an 80-pound leader here, so he's able to just
a little bigger than the last one.
Flop him over in the boat. Oh yeah, there's
a nice one.
There's two more for you right there.
Twins.
2 twin snappers, and that'll pretty much finish out our limit right there for the day. Good eating fish. To me, a snapper is the best eating fish in the Gulf. When I go to a restaurant, if they have snapper on the menu, I order it. Now, Keith, these fish are down there close to the bottom. What are they down there feeding on?
Cigar minnows right now.
What's their natural food source down there?
Any forage. What do they all feed on, you reckon? Hardtail?
Ruby red lips, juvenile mingo snappers, juvenile white snappers.
There's the other one. There we go. Hey, I caught one on my light tackle. That's my Lew's Super Duty 300 catching one right there. How about that? My light rod, my Lew's TP1 Black. There we go. Oh, that's a good pull. Come up here, buddy. What we're doing to find these fish is we're going to these spots that Ronnie has marked out here. We've got waypoints that we've punched in, and we're driving around until we see these fish like you're seeing on the graph. Here's a good snapper for you on my light tackle too. Look at here. All right, that's good. Hey, I caught one on my light tackle. That's my Lew's Super Duty 300 catching one right there. How about that? my light rod, my loose TP1 black. That is a 7-foot medium action rod. Keith's got one now, got doubles again. So we're actually just kind of weeding through some fish now. We've kept our limit, and so we're just having a good time catching them now. So that one's going back. I guess that's a fun thing, Keith, is once you get your limits, you can still have some fun just catching and releasing them.
You can have fun because they sure pull.
Have you seen this fish yet? He's got several with him. Look at that.
Good one.
That's a good fish. There's a good snapper for you right there. There's what we're catching right there. That's a good couple of big old nice fillets right there. How do you like them cooked best?
I like to fry them.
Oh, come on.
I like to fry
Don't
them.
be frying up a red snapper now.
I like to fry everything.
Well, I'll tell you, if you want to do this, I'm going to give you some contact information here. You can come here to Pensacola, get yourself a room. I'll tell you one thing. If you want to spend the big bucks, you can stay out on the beach and be able to walk out there on beautiful white sand beach. Or if you want to save a couple of bucks, you can stay further inshore in town in Pensacola. And so there's your couple of options, and you can book a guide trip with Captain Ronnie Respondek. We'll put his contact information on the screen. And Keith, you live here, but you don't actually get to do this. But you said you're so busy building boats and freshwater fishing that you don't get to come do this very much.
Yeah, if you ever want to quit fishing, start building boats.
Hi folks, this week's Lone Star Lakes is brought to you by the good folks at Tejas Custom Boots, who remind you they have flip-flops made from the same great materials by the same great craftsmen that make their one-off custom boots. Now this week we've come to one of my favorite places, Little Purtis Creek State Park. 365-acre lake, mostly catch and release on the bass. They got a lot of trophy fish, and you got a few options this time of year. You can start the morning early with your top waters and your Cincos and spinnerbaits, and then move out and either look for schooling fish out in the main lake or go fish in the timber with your jigs and your big power worms. But what's really a lot of fun this time of year at Purtis Creek is the night fishing. You'll only need 3 baits. You want a black buzzbait. You want a big black spinnerbait, a ½ ounce with a Colorado blade, and you want a big black blue or red shad power worm, Texas rigged with a ¼ ounce weight. Go fish around the shallows anywhere from 5 to 8 to 9 feet of water, and you'll catch plenty of bass on Purtis. Now at Lake Tawakoni, the catfish bite is still on the move around the humps. You'll have to check them with your electronics, but once you find a few, you'll catch some cats over there. Use your cut bait for the blues on those humps on Tawakoni. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Tejas Custom Boots. Check us out on Facebook, Lone Star Lakes.
Hey friends, welcome back to Fox Sports Louisiana Outdoor Report, coming to you from Cajun Paradise Charters right here on Calcasieu Lake. I tell you what, as you can see right here, saltwater action is in full summertime swing all along the Louisiana Gulf Coast. I tell you what, Hopedale, Breton Sound, Delacroix, all catching right here on Calcasieu Lake. Had Spence, Rory, and Christina Lexker out. What'd y'all think of it today?
Well, we had a blast today.
I'll tell you what, like I said, we caught lots of trout at the close rigs right offshore using finger mullet and live shrimp. On the freshwater scene, tell you what, the rivers are starting to get back in good shape. The water's starting to clear up early morning, late in the afternoon. Top water buzzbait seems to be the best. Some white perch and some deeper brush piles. Tell you what, for old Cajun Phil, Captain Kevin Broussard saying happy fishing and may God bless.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide's wireless and easy to use XI3. Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist. Strike King, tie one on. Nitro Performance Fishing Boats, because champions aren't born, they're made.
Look at that dude right there.
That's the biggest one today.
Yeah, it is. That might be the biggest one yet. Way to go, bud. Hey everybody, welcome back to Pensacola. We're out today offshore, doing a little red snapper fishing today, out on some structure, out on some live bottoms and a couple of wrecks. And we're with Keith Kraft. Keith, we actually took his microphone away a minute ago and stuck it on Ronnie, the guide, so Keith has been silenced, but he's tied into something pretty big. See him? Oh yeah, that's a good snapper. There you go. Yeah, we're culling fish now. We've got our legal limit and we're actually culling fish.
Yes,
Ronnie
sir.
guides out here for these snapper. Ronnie, I know there's been a lot of controversy all up and down the Gulf Coast over these snapper seasons and limits and that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
they kind of settled, and I think most of it's gotten settled out. But the big question that most of the guides are being asked is, do you think that it even needs to be managed as closely and as carefully as it is?
Not the snapper. The season's so short on them, and there's so many out here that it affects the other species as far as even their source of food. There's so many snapper. When you're trying to target grouper or triggerfish, you're gonna break your tackle and bust them up on snappers all day. They're just pretty much overpopulated, but it's good for this time of year because we're pulling them up left and right. So
you really think there's more snapper out here than what really most of the government agencies even believe there are?
Oh, yeah.
And that they could really loosen up on some of that.
I don't know who's giving them their info or doing their research, but they need to come fishing with us one day and see how many snapper are really out here, because it's ridiculous.
And during the season, when you bring a guide trip out here, you can pretty much have a really good day of catching a bunch of snapper for your customers.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get your limit out here in Pensacola, Florida. You're definitely gonna get your limit because they're like hogs out here. They're everywhere and they're hungry.
Wow, that's cool.
Hey, let's talk about trout fishing in Oklahoma first. The lower mountain fork is really good for rainbows all along the river channel. You can catch them on artificials, and you can catch them on prepared baits in those stretches of the river where that type of fishing is allowed. Now, the lower Illinois River trout fishing has been slow in recent weeks due to all the water flow through 10 Killer Dam. They have slowed that flow, so I expect the trout fishing to really pick up there quickly. Keep an eye on that. Up in 10 Killer Lake itself, because the lake level has stabilized somewhat, the release has slowed, the bass fishing is good, early morning topwater action going on, and you have a chance for schooling bass throughout the day. Smallmouth really doing well in 10 Killer, and of course you have largemouth and the spotted bass too. Crappie fishing at Bell Cow has finally picked up after several really slow weeks there. Go to your standing timber or find brush piles 12, 14, 16 foot of water, which is a very typical summertime pattern for crappie in Oklahoma. And then some of those lakes in northeastern Oklahoma that have been closed ramps because of the high water levels, most of those are back open now. Good example is Birch Lake. I suggest giving it a try because it was closed for so long. You got some really good hybrid fishing in birch as well as largemouth and crappie. Good time of year to be fishing in Oklahoma, and you can catch them, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
What do you got, buddy?
I think it's a snapper. Feels like a good one.
I'm your net man, buddy. There's your leader.
Where's he
Here
at?
he is. That's a good one. Look at that dude. Look at that dude right there. There's a big old pig for you.
That's the biggest one today.
Yeah, it is. That might be the biggest one yet. Way to go, bud.
Circle hooks catch
You
him
hold,
right in
you
the
hold
corner.
his head. I'm going to pull his tail up so she can get a good shot of him there. They get a little darker colored when they get bigger, it looks like, too. See how it's a little bit darker on his back? Yeah. That's a good one. He starts getting scarring on his face from being around all the rocks and the coral reef and stuff. They live in those little caves and those little pockets in there.
We're gonna put him back. We have a limit.
Yeah, so we're gonna release him. Good one right there, bud.
There he goes.
Hey, the biggest one yet. Way to go. Hey, real quick here, I want to mention several of the different species of fish we caught today. We caught a bunch of different stuff. You're looking at Keith fighting a big shark that we hooked, and he fought it for a long time. We could have landed this fish if we had wanted to, but of course we did not want to. This fish was a couple of 100-pound shark. Ronnie, first of all, what kind of shark was this? We finally got a good shot of it up here beside the boat, and then what other species of fish did we catch today?
That shark was a dusky shark, and we also caught several different types of groupers. We caught a speckled hind, we caught a gag grouper, we caught cobia, and we caught triggerfish.
So we caught a little bit of everything today.
Yes, sir.
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and the follow button on Twitter, and watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free Waypoint TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder, Balls Out, made in the USA, heavy-duty mounts for your fish finders.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, Jameson would like to know, what is the most frustrated you can ever remember being while fishing? For the answer, we asked Hall of Famer and world-renowned angler Kevin Van Dam.
You know, I've had some times on the water, you know, that are just incredible, but I've also had some frustrating times. And, you know, the biggest thing when you're in a big event like, you know, this week we're at the Bassmaster Classic, is, you know, to have fans that are trying to help you actually end up hurting you. And, you know, what I've learned about that, though, is, you know, it's public water. You have to just kind of, you know, you kind of have to deal that. And, you know, people don't know where you're going to go, don't know what when you're going to come back to a spot and things like that. So you kind of have to take that into account. But just remember that, you know, our lakes and rivers and streams, they're all of our water. It's not my spot, it's not your spot. We have to share it all, and that frustration goes away real quick when you look at it that way, that we're just all lucky to have the privilege to be able to go out there and enjoy these fisheries.
Thank you, Kevin. If you have a question for one of the pros, visit our website, click on the Ask the Pro link, and send it in. Now let's check out the latest Big Catch of the Week winner.
We are back at the boat ramp, and it's time right now for this week's winner in the Big Catch of the Week contest. Someone gets their big fish picture shown on television. Here's this week's winner. She is Cassie Saldivar of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, with a 23-pound blue catfish she caught in the North Canadian River in Oklahoma. If you'd like a chance to be our next winner, just go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Fox Sports Outdoors. Find last Tuesday's post. It's about the Big Catch of the Week. Follow the instructions to post your picture and give us all the details about the catch, and you could be our next winner. Next up, here's some of the gear that we use to catch the snapper and the other species today. This is actually a knocker rig. It's just a sliding weight, anywhere from 2 ounces to 6 ounces, depending on wind and current. And then we had that tied to heavy leader, and below that we had a circle hook. Anything from an 8/0 to a 10/0 was the size we used. Then we used live cigar minnows, and we filleted some Boston mackerel. You can see those fillets there. We just took the little fillet onto that hook, dropped it to the bottom, raised it up a few cranks, and that's where the snapper were. You want a perfect recipe to be miserable? Make it all about you. Your stuff, your money, your things, your contentment level. Some of the most unhappy people I know are some of the most selfish. Why? Because God never created any of us to make it all about ourselves. He created us to serve other people. So here's how to live a happy life. Get on the internet, find a ministry or a volunteer opportunity, find your place, and go serve other people. And guess what? Your contentment and fulfillment level will skyrocket. I'm so happy you joined us this week on the show. We had a great time out with Keith Kraft and Ronnie Respondak catching those red snapper out in the Gulf of Mexico, right here out of Pensacola, Florida. If you'd like to make your own trip here, put the contact information up on the screen one more time for Ronnie's guide service. You can give him a call, that information, book your own trip. You need to do it during those dates that we're putting up on the screen right now. That's when the snapper season is open. You can keep a couple, fillet them, have some great eating of your very own. And our thanks to Keith Kraft of Blazer Bay Boats for jumping in the boat, joining us. What a great boat the 2420 GTS is. You see it right here on our show. From Pensacola, Florida, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes saying be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.